Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome again to our live stream. My name is Dr. James Ong. I'm your host. And with me are three special guests from two ends of the world, right? And you're going to love them with what they're going to share. And we'll try something different. I'm going to introduce all of them all in one go, all right? All at the same time. First of all, let me introduce to you and let us welcome. I hope I pronounced this correctly. Miss Estra Spiziri. All right. Okay, I think I got that right. How are you? You have to unmute yourself. I'm sorry. I muted all of you. Okay. And
I'm good, thank you.
okay, next is we are going to meet someone all the way from Texas, and her name is Miss Susan Goldsmith. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me here today.
It's very early and it's daylight saving in your country, right?
Yes.
Okay, next, and a very important guest because her story is probably the longest in terms of all three of them. And she's from New York, Miss Becky Maiden-Bauer. Welcome to our live stream. And I want to personally, on behalf of the management of Prife International, thank all of you for coming forward to share your stories. And the reason why you're doing that is because you want to help humanity and hopefully people out there, even the recorded version later on, will be touched by your sharing and may want to give it a go. And here at Prife International, we give people hope, and sometimes hope is all you need to have a change. All right, so without much further ado, let me start first with our first story. And this is all the way from Grampians, Victoria, Australia, right? And I've been in Melbourne, and I've also been to Grampian, all right? Really lovely place for bushwalking. And wow, I mean, the first time I saw you, and that's why I contacted you, I couldn't believe what I saw. I couldn't believe. May I show your photo?
Sure, go for it. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Plus, I'm so happy to be here as well. So thank you for having me on.
Sure. We are happy to have you. All right. So this was the photo that I saw. And maybe you can carry us through. Yeah, what happened to you?
Okay, so I've been using the iTeracare wand since Wednesday, the 28th of September. So probably about 6 weeks now. The two photos on the right side where I've got the rash across my face, they were taken about a month ago. And the one on the left side where I'm all clear, that was only taken a couple of weeks ago. So I actually found out I had a very chronic parasitic infestation that I had become systemically ill. So I had like all different symptoms going on, but this rash across my face was actually mimicking a malar rash, like a butterfly rash. It's very similar to.
So can I say that the rash is only nothing but a symptom of?
A symptom, yeah.
Yeah. And did you get treatment or tell us what happened?
Well, I started a herbal protocol at home. I was managing myself with herbs and it was starting to work. So as you can see with the picture underneath, I was on the bottom right-hand side. I was using herbs and the wand together, but it wasn't until I was doing like the wand, drinking 3 liters of water a day, wanding my water, and I was actually wanding my head and face, hands and feet for about 30 minutes a day, as well as doing the 20-minute full body protocol. And it completely cleared up my skin. All my symptoms have gone. I had not just the rash across my face, but I had severe brain fog. Wow. Some days it was debilitating. Like it was, very, very difficult with the brain fog, memory, having like, memory issues, IBS, like irritable bowel syndrome symptoms as well. I had really bad lethargy, and I'm only 49, and I shouldn't be feeling like this. But since using the wand, and doing the wanding protocol every day, my energy's up. my sense of smell has increased. Like, it's just been amazing. Like, I feel peaceful and calm. I don't need to use my glasses as much anymore. That was another thing that was happening because the parasite infestation, I had like really bad eyesight. So I'm hardly using my glasses at all anymore. And that's been huge because I had really fuzzy vision. Yeah, it's also really helped to deepen my Qigong practice that I do on a daily.
Yeah. You do practice in alternative and Qigong.
Yeah, it's really helped to deepen my practice and just with the sense of energy coming through my body. And I've felt a lot of meridian blockages come up and out of my body as well. I've experienced that with my wrists, from both sides of my jaw. And from my left ovary as well. So, before I started using the wand on a daily basis and drinking the water, like not a day goes by where I make sure that I drink the water. I feel like a different person. I'm starting to look
I know. I mean, the way you narrated it, it was like your whole system was crashing.
It was.
You know.
Yeah. And another massive thing that's happened for me, which I never expected to happen, is I am now off 3 medications that I have been on for the past 10 years.
Wow, that's huge.
It is huge. I was on hormone replacement therapy. I was on another heavy duty medication for seizures. That's gone as well. And because I had a lot of trouble sleeping, I was on melatonin, taking 3 to 5 milligrams of melatonin a night. That's gone. I'm no longer taking any pharmaceuticals anymore. And I never, ever thought that would happen.
It really touches me. I'm sure it touched everyone out there, including our
feel free.
just listening to you, just feeling your vibration. Wow, I'm speechless, really. I'm so happy for you, Estra. I really do.
Thank you so much. So now I want to help others as well
I know.
Struggle with chronic pain
and you're starting your center, right? And you're using iTeracare to blow people, right?
Yeah, so I've got a herbal apothecary. I'm a holistic herbalist, and I want to incorporate the iTeracare therapy and offer that to people as well. So
you have a mission now. You have a purpose.
I have a mission now. Yeah. Whereas at first it was just all about me getting better. I didn't have the energy to think about anything else.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get better, but in such a short amount of time, like it's crazy. 6 weeks it's been.
Wow, that's amazing. And you drank the wanded water, and also you blew yourself the 20-minute, and the problem area you blew a little bit longer. That's all. I mean, there's no like magical formula. That's all you need to do, right?
It's pretty simple. Yeah. I can't get over how simple it is.
Thank you so much, Estra. Thank you so much for coming forward and sharing.
Thank you so much.
And all the very best to you.
Thank you.
Well, there you heard it from our first guest, and it doesn't end there. Now we're gonna bring our second guest, and she has really some amazing, touching story. How are you now, Susan? Tell us.
I'm great. Thank you so much.
Tell us your story before you started iTeracare. How did you feel? You were shattered. You felt like giving up. Can I share your photo as well of
yes,
the skin
please
problem?
do so.
Yeah. All right. Wow. When I look at that. So I hope our viewers can see, and please carry us through all these different photos, different parts of your body. I mean, that's like a lot of your body is, going through some changes and transformation. Apart from the itchiness and unsightly, you must have felt really depressed at the time.
I did. So my story started last November. And I got this little rash on my leg, didn't know what it was. And over time, it just started increasing. In 6 months, that's what my leg looked like.
Wow.
So I went to a couple of doctors along the way. I went to one doctor and I went to him and said, is this ringworm? And he said, no, it's not ringworm. So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you if you would go on a synthetic, because I know you don't do that. And I said, at this point, please, whatever is going to work. So he ended up putting me on a steroid for 20 days. And in that time frame, it ballooned to the extent as it is right here. And then after that, he said, you know what? The rash is not going away. We'll do blood work to see if you have any allergies. I had none. My body is, I'm a very healthy woman besides this. And then I went to another doctor after him, and he said, no, that is ringworm, by the way. Your doctor misdiagnosed you. And he put you on a steroid that made it mushroom in your body. He said, I'm surprised it's not throughout your whole body. So it's from my thigh all the way down to my ankle on my right side. So I was at my wit's end, and it was at the end of July when I was ready to give up. My life was so bad. I was so upset that this was happening to my body that I was ready to cut my leg off. And I was sitting there with a knife, getting ready to cut it off. I was just done. And I got a phone call from a friend, and she said, what's going on? And I said, it's emotional for me. And she said, what's going on? And I said, I don't know what's wrong with my leg. And she said, send me a picture. I'm like, no way. You're gonna look at me like other people are looking at me. Send me the picture. So I did. I've already spent $450 to $500 on everything else that was not working. And she said, you know what? Try it. It's just $350 more. And I said, okay, I can't lose by trying. So I did order it, and I got it in the mail. And pretty instantly, I started to feel some tingling in my leg. Didn't understand it. I wasn't going to go on vacation. I decided to go on vacation anyway. I brought it with me, and I blew the water. I blew the meridians. I blew my leg twice a day. I did this every single day. I got up to Wisconsin to visit a friend. Her dog was having a hard time, so she said, could you bring the blower over? Sure. I brought it with me. Why not? So his name is Sully, and she blew his lower spine and blew the part of his body that was bothering him. And the next morning, he jumped on top of a bed, which he hasn't been able to do in a very long time.
Wow.
So then then she blew her foot, and this is a lady who had a crushed foot, and she started walking. So I thought, you know what? Keep on blowing. Let's see what's going to happen. And I got home in September, and I thought, you know what? If it's going to work for her dog, it's got to work for mine. My dog was limping for a year and a half. No vet could figure out what was wrong with her. And it's the metatarsal that was bothering her, which is between the hock and the foot. I put a brace on there. Well, I took the brace off. I had her drink the water, the charged water. I blew her lower spine. One time, I'm going to tell you, one time blowing her lower spine for about 30 seconds, and I blew her leg, the part that was bothering her, for 1 minute. And this dog went running and jumping and playing out the door. She has limped maybe twice since then. And in the process, I'm still blowing my leg. And I see the light in my dog's eyes is I want to live again. And so what this beautiful thing has done for me has changed my life, because my leg is changing, and it is healing. I know that it's healing. It's healing my heart too. And it's giving me the ability to share my story with people and giving hope to other people. And yes, I want to share this to 1 million people out there, because it's given me hope to continue my life, where before having this iTeracare, I wanted to die. Yes, it is a purpose.
You have the hope, and you have the purpose, and you have a mission. So you got to go out there and save more lives, right? So don't give up. Okay? Don't give up. Everything happens for a reason, and definitely, I'm glad that you've gone through some pretty bad times, pretty bad. I can just imagine. I can feel you. So to come out from that situation, it's amazing. It's amazing. So thank you so much, Beck. I mean, thank you for sharing, Susan. Thank you so much for coming forward, and hopefully someone out there will see your story, and instead of giving up hope, there is hope. All right. So thank you for giving people hope. All right. Okay.
Thank you.
All the very best to you, Susan, and continue to share this thing. All right. Okay. Yes. Wow. There you heard it, guys. I mean, don't give up so easily. Okay. And then now we have someone all the way from New York, and she has amazing stories, many stories, from pets to husbands to, I don't know. Amazing. So let's listen from her. Can we welcome once again Becky Mainenbauer?
I would just like to thank you so much, Dr. James, for the opportunity to be here. And I have to tell you that I am not a public speaker, and being in front of a camera is my least favorite thing. But I accepted your invitation because you have a very calming and beautiful energy about you. So thank you for opening the door for me.
Wow. And, you know, when I first watched you interviewed by Renee McLaughlin, and I was so touched by what you shared, and immediately I contacted her, and that was before she came to the live stream, and I said, hey, and she did tell me, she said, you're shy, you know, and initially you were not sure whether you will come forward, but I'm glad you do, and you're here right now. So first of all, tell us about your pets. All right, tell us.
Okay.
Yes.
I have so many stories. So initially, when I first received my wand, that same week that I received it, my stepson's cat was diagnosed with lymphoma, and he had been very sick for a very long time, was constantly throwing up and loose stools and just very unhealthy. And he was told by his vet that he had 1 to 2 months left to live.
Wow.
So I always ask for guidance and pray on things. And I was like, well, do I tell him about this wand? I just got it. I don't really know what I'm doing yet, but we decided there was nothing to lose at that point, because he told him he had 1 to 2 months left to live, and he's very attached to this cat. So we began wanding his water, and we were lucky because the cat was not bothered by the noise of the wand at all. So we began doing sessions. We started on low, and then eventually we're able to go up to the higher speed. And within 2 weeks, he was back to eating. He was playing. Wow. He was just acting like his old self again. Mm-hmm. And the results, you know, we started seeing things very quickly with the wand, and you kind of just, is this really happening?
I know. Everyone says that. Yeah.
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 So I treated him the first 2 weeks almost every day. And then after 2 weeks, he was doing so well, I said, well, let's back it off a little bit. And we did every other day. And so for 5 weeks, I worked on his cat. He has completely gone back to eating normally. And for the first time in years, he has normal bowel movements, which he said he can't remember the last time that he had normal bowel movements. So he continues. This is now, it's past 3 months that we had treated him. He's perfectly healthy. He was back to the vet recently. We didn't get blood work done, which I would like, you know, for him to do that just out of my curiosity. But the vet was surprised and looked at him, and he said, well, he appears to be very healthy. Mm-hmm. He said, but you know, some cats, he said, they could live up to a year with this. So I just kind of chuckled, and I said, okay, we'll see what happens. You know, nobody knows how long our time here is, you know, but that was a huge, you know, he's just so grateful. He has his little buddy back. So
and this is great. So that's the pet.
Yeah.
So, but then,
and my cat also, my cat has had allergies for years now, and he licks his belly constantly to where he had no hair at all on his whole underside, because he was always licking and scratching. And we tried so many different things, different foods, different homeopathic remedies. Nothing helped him. And he does not like the sound of the wand. So he only gets the wanded water. And it took 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks, all of the hair on his belly started growing back again. And
really? Wow.
He now has a full belly of hair. It's crazy. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
And
yeah.
I also have a dog. That's why I said I have so many stories I could talk to you
from
about.
The cats, we go to the dog, right? Okay, go on. Please tell us.
my dog is 12. He was a rescue puppy when I got him. And it turned out he was limping when I adopted him and they didn't know why. And it turned out that the ball at the top of his femur that fits into the hip socket had actually been broken off and was shattered. So he has no hip joint. And then he tore his ACL on the opposite leg 2 years ago. So they had told us he'll probably have, hip issues in later life. And because of the ACL tear, he was not allowed to jump up or down from any of the furniture. So I was picking him up for a year and putting him on the bed and then picking him up and putting him down. And he just got used to that. And he sits there and waits for me, to go to
I
bed.
can feel for him, as a dog.
Yeah. Yeah. So just in the last couple of weeks, he started jumping off the bed by himself for the first time. And
so
I was so
wonderful.
shocked because I was in another room and suddenly he was there. And I said, how did you get here? So
And what did you do to him? Did you blow on him or did you
he does. Yeah.
give him
He gets the
wanded
water. He gets the water and then I do wanding sessions on him.
He doesn't mind the sound. He doesn't mind the sound, right?
No, maybe 2 or
Okay.
3 times a week. We do a little session on him.
Okay. Well, it's nice to hear that. So we have the cats and then we have the dog and then your husband,
My husband. Yep.
someone who was skeptical, right?
He was. Yeah.
Tell us about
Yeah.
it.
He told me that it looked like a blow dryer. So I wasn't even sure that he would use it. So I'm very grateful that he gave it a chance. But the first thing that happened for him was he had trigger finger in his index finger that had been going on for about a year. He has been a carpenter his whole life, working with his hands and tools. So he could never get it to heal because he was constantly reusing it. So he has not been able to make a fist. His finger would go maybe about that far when he would make a fist. And after 2 weeks of drinking the water and using the wand on his hands, he came to me and he said, do you want to see something cool? And I said, sure. And he said, do you know how I haven't been able to make a fist for the last year? And I said, yeah. And he walked up and he made a complete fist. And that was just 2 weeks. And I was
That is
totally
awesome.
shocked.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So from someone who was skeptical, now he believes, right? So tell us, any other problem, any other issues?
Yeah, we both, we're not that old, but we both have had very physical jobs our whole lives. So we both have a lot of aches and pains. And I feel like over the last 2 years, we both were like, wow, we're getting old. So he, this was a minor thing, but he also had a ganglion cyst right here on his wrist that he had for about 10 years. The doctor said, don't bother having it removed. It will just grow back again. And he was sitting at the dinner table the one night rubbing his wrists and I could see him looking and he couldn't find the cyst. And
he couldn't find the cyst. So
he couldn't find it.
Whether it was the right hand or left hand.
Yeah, he was feeling both hands saying, wait, am I on the wrong wrist? And so it was just gone.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even trying to get rid of it. It just disappeared on its own. And then he is prone to getting those lipomas, just a fatty tumor that doesn't hurt anything, but it's not pretty to look at. And so he has one particularly large one right in the center of his chest. And I said, oh, we should try and wand that and see, if it will help. And we went in the other room and he lifted his shirt and he said, oh my God, you have to touch it. And I touched it and it was soft and mushy. And before it was like hard as a rock. And it was already half the size of what it used to be. We just hadn't been paying attention to it. So he uses the wand almost every day now. He had a severe back injury. He was in a bad car accident many years ago, and he does have rods on both sides of his spine. So he experiences a lot of back pain, neck pain. Mm-hmm. He has knee issues. So he's doing almost the full body. And one of the things that we just recently discovered, so he has been balding for many years now. And I haven't really shared this with too many people, but he has new hair growth coming in the
Wow.
top of his forehead here.
That's nice.
And that makes him, he's like wanting his head every day. He's like, oh. So we'll see how that goes. That might take a little bit longer, but
Awesome. This is
yeah.
some kind of a reverse aging process, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
And he's actually healing himself one by one. And sometimes, we focus on a particular issue, but other things like benefited. I mean, other parts of our body benefit from a particular issue or a particular spot or particular place that we are blowing. But then other issues are being fixed without knowing, without realizing. So that's nice to hear. So that's your hobby. And what about you? I mean, I understand you went through quite a difficult time in the last couple of years as well.
Yeah. So I have been a massage therapist for 23 years now, and I have had a very blessed career where I have been exposed to a lot of energy work and a lot of healers, and just it has been the most rewarding career for me. And I have never felt like it's a job. I have always felt like this is my purpose, and to try to help others heal. So because I looked down, for so many years, I started developing a very stiff neck, and it was difficult for me to turn my head. That started, I would say, about 5 years ago. And I did have it checked, and my doctor told me that I have stenosis in my neck and pretty bad arthritis in my neck and my hands, which is just unfortunately a byproduct of doing massage therapy. So he pretty much told me this is something that's just going to progressively get worse for you. And my father has it also. And my father actually had to stop driving because he could not turn to see if there was a car next to him. It became dangerous. And I was pretty sad. I thought, oh, I don't want to get to that point, where I can't drive anymore. But when we hit 2020, I had gone to a spiritual retreat that was very life-changing for me. And it really gave me a new center purpose in life. And I decided to leave the spa that I was working at and open up my own practice again for the first time in a long time. And I was focused on helping women to reconnect with their heart center. And I opened in January of 2020. And I had been having trouble with my thumb joint. I was having a lot of pain at the time. And I just kept pushing through and saying, okay, I have great purpose right now, and I'm just going to push through this. It's going to be okay. And when you feel those nudges, like you're being pushed in a certain direction, you think, this is my life path. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I very much believe in synchronicities and that nothing is a coincidence. So then I opened January of 2020. And then in March of 2020, we all know we shut down for the pandemic.
Yep.
And so I had only been open for 3 months. And unfortunately, because I was no longer active with my hands, the arthritis in my hand blew up. And I discovered I was bone on bone in my thumb joint. And I could not get in to see a specialist for a long time because everyone was shut down unless it was an emergency. So the recommendation was you have to get a thumb joint replacement if you want to return to massage therapy. That was my only hope of being able to return. So I had the surgery. It was supposed to be a 6-week recovery, and then I could go back to work, and it did not heal correctly. And it actually became very deformed. And I developed scar tissue, and it bends in the wrong direction. It used to go outward like this one, but it's kind of facing the same direction as that one. And I went for therapy for months. We did get some improvement, but not much. And I ended up being home for 2.5 years. And it was probably one of the most challenging times of my life, because I really felt I had found my purpose and everything just came together so beautifully. And I thought, how, I was only there for 3 months. I can't, be done. And between everything going on in the world, I am a very sensitive person energetically. There's a collective energy in our planet, and it was affecting me very heavily. And then I was also in severe pain, and I was not able to do anything with my right hand, which is my dominant hand. Couldn't open a door, couldn't do much of anything. So I struggled. I have training in mindfulness. I have training in meditation. I use essential oils. I love yoga. I have a lot of tools in my tool belt that I would always use to help, if I was feeling heavy energy, to help pull me out of that. And I became so depressed that I could not even have the desire to do any of those things. I just
Shut down.
shut down. Yeah.
You shut down.
And I said in my video with Renee, I feel like I lost my light, and not so much that I lost it, but I was disconnected, I guess, from it, and had trouble reconnecting again.
When did you get your device? Was it July or August?
It was this past July. Yeah.
Okay.
And I actually did, they put me out as disabled with my thumb. And I had to make a decision career-wise, what am I doing next? And they were going to pay for schooling and everything that they talked about. I was like, I have no interest in that. So I pushed myself and I said, I'm going back to my office and I'm going to do energy work. If nothing else, I do Reiki. So I went back in May, which was before I learned about it.
Yep.
And I have been working with it, but it's still not great. I still have pain. It still bends in the wrong direction. So I've been very interested in frequency for a few years now. And a friend of mine posted on Facebook, if anyone is interested in learning more about this frequency device. And I said, sure. And I started listening to testimonials. It was actually the video that Shakti did with Annette.
Okay, wow, I love them. They're wonderful people.
Yeah, that hit me.
Manifestation,
I have to have
intention, love, everything. That's energy.
Yeah. So I knew instinctively, I'm usually very drawn to what is good for me. So I knew I had to order this, and I got it the end of July. I was so busy working on other people that I didn't really focus on myself a whole lot. I was drinking the water every single day. And after 5 weeks of using the wand just a few times on myself, but drinking the water, I went to get my hair done. And for years now, I have not been able to put my head back into the sink when she washes my hair because my neck is so stiff. I just kind of hover above that little notched out area. And I was telling my girlfriend who does my hair about the wand, and I was in this middle of a story, and we went to wash my hair, and I'm talking and not paying attention, and she's listening, and she says to me, have you been using this wand on your neck? And I said, a little bit. I said, not as much as I should be, but a little bit. And she said, do you realize that your neck is touching the sink right now? And I had to just kind of take in that moment, and I got emotional. And every time I think about it, I get emotional because I was in the mindset that this is never going to get better. It's just going to get worse. And I went back to her, I think it was 5 weeks later after that. And then this time I was like, oh, what if it doesn't happen again? And I laid back and it was comfortably, I laid back into the sink. So
that's so nice to hear. That's so nice to hear. Yeah,
it was amazing. And I have been able, my range of motion with turning from side to side, I was getting to the point where I was turning my whole body to talk to someone. So
Yeah.
now I can feel it's loosening. And it's not an overnight thing. It's something I will continue to work at, but
Yeah,
the
I'm sure.
improvement that I've seen in 3 short
Yeah.
months is miraculous.
It's not only giving you hope, but it's also giving you the will to go on, and also to go back to what you used to be before the,
Mhm.
you know, your old
Yeah.
self again. So I
Yes.
think that's wonderful to hear.
Thank you. I've had improvement with my thumb also, so this is better.
Yeah.
The motion that I have, and it is straighter than it was before. I just have to be careful because of the implant, but I have seen improvement, and I'm extremely so
Yeah.
grateful. So
Wow. Very,
yeah,
very powerful sharing, Thank you so much, Becky, for
you're welcome.
for coming forward, because so many things that you've said that I'm sure a lot of people who will watch this and probably watch this more in the future, it gives them hope. And
Mhm.
a lot of us, we sometimes go through phases in life that we just give up hope. And just
Mhm.
like Susan, even Estra, you don't even know what went wrong. Like your whole body is crashing,
Right.
and somehow miraculous. That's why they call this the miracle one, right? And
Yes.
yeah, so it's just the energy. When your frequency goes up, everything goes away. So
Mhm.
thank you on behalf of the management. Thank you, Becky, and all the
Thank
very
you.
best to you. And thank
Thank
you, Estra and Susan. And yeah, there you have it, everyone. Wonderful, wonderful sharing. And I hope that if you're watching this and you have a problem, no problem is too small and no problem is too big, right? Just give it a go and give it a try. And you never know. If you believe the manifestation, with the love for yourself, anything can happen and anything can work. All right. So thank you for watching today. And thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
All the very
Thank
best.
you so much, Dr. Ong. Thank you.
All the very best to all of you. All right. Now I'll just add so that our viewers can see all of you all together. So thank you everyone for
Thank you.
watching, and bye for now.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Medical disclaimers. iTera Classic and iTera Pro are not medical devices. The information provided on our website is for educational purposes only and does not substitute for professional medical advice. Please consult a medical professional or healthcare provider if you are seeking medical advice, diagnoses, or treatment. Prife International shall not be liable for risks or issues associated with using or acting upon the information on our website. Prife International shall not be liable or responsible for the actions, misrepresentations, or negligence of our members who are independent contractors.